So 46 degrees right now. It was 43 low last night. We arrived late yesterday, and this campground does not sell firewood. The only firewood we found nearby was at a farmer's stand, but it had rained here the last 3 days, and it was all wet pine wood, and I could not get it to light for anything. And tonight is going to drop to 37 degrees, so we have to get a fire going tonight. Okay, if I have any Trekkies that follow my channel, this is for you. In Ticonderoga, New York is the most accurate reproduction of the original Star Trek series in the world. When the original Star Trek television series was canceled in 1969, the sets were dismantled and largely destroyed. Star Trek superfan James Cawley has rebuilt the sets just as they would have been seen 50 years ago when the series was first being filmed. Surviving cast members can be seen at this location. William Shatner will be here for his second visit in November of 2022. I was not allowed to record video inside, so it will just be still pictures. I'm not even a Trekkie, and I really enjoyed that. If you're in the area, I highly recommend it. After the Star Trek Museum, we decided to take a ride to an old antique shop I had read about. The old-timer who owns it seemed more interested in our motorcycles and the journey we were on than selling us any antiques. And if he were a few years younger, I swear I think he would have jumped on the back of my bike and joined us.
Cast iron. Oh. Look at the size of that pan. Oh, they have different styles, but we're trying to be as lightweight as possible because all we have are the little luggage racks on the sides and the one on the top box, and we have them filled. You know, between each bike has a tent, sleeping bag, air mattress that blows up to give us insulation off the ground, plus other cooking gear and stuff we need for the bikes. And I have it's not on there now, it's at the campground, but I have a 60-liter waterproof big duffel bag that goes in the back seat full of clothes. Yeah. So we are to the brim. Yeah. But we're pushing it lower and lower in the temperature range, you know.
Yeah, well, you're getting farther north.
Yes, yep.
So I have granddaughters and their kids live 7 hours north of Quebec City, up in the Gas Bay.
Oh my gosh.
They have snow in the summer, and they're outdoor people. And I've seen pictures. They hunt seals. And
wow, that's amazing.
Moose. these bikes have a heater type thing?
No, the engine does throw off the heat though when you're when you start cooking, you start rolling along.
Yeah.
I kind of put my legs closer and closer to the engine to get some warmth off. What year is the barn from?
Around 1850.
1850.
And so people complain about the price of gas. You used to have to have this to house your couple horses and your wagons and sleighs, hay upstairs, just to go to town, which was 3 miles away once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah. And my grandmother taught school, and the school was about 5 miles.
Really?
So in the wintertime, she would rent a room right in a house right next to the school, because every morning she'd have to go out, hook up the sleigh and all that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Did they have a wood stove in the schoolhouse? That kind of, yeah.
Yeah, and the boys that were ill behaved got to lugging wood. Good luck on your journey.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Have a great one.
Have a good one.
Take it easy.
All right, take care now.
So we knew we were in for 37-degree temperatures tonight. So we stopped and we picked up some seasoned wood. I put a bundle on my bike. Gary put a bundle on his. And we picked up a few packages of hand warmers. We thought that may help. And I was hoping to come up with a way to dry that wet pine wood we picked up on the first night and burn that as well tonight. So you see here, I got a nice fire going with that dried seasoned wood. And we wrapped all that wet pine around the fire, dried it out best we could, and piece by piece fed it to the fire. And that's how we utilized that wet pine. When you get in your tent and you can see your breath, you know it's going to be a cold one. Let me also say that we are using 3-season camping gear, not winter gear. And at 5 degrees away from the freezing point, we're pushing this 3-season gear to its limits. We would light up one last fire just before crawling into the tents, just to be able to look at it and hear it crackling. It would make you just feel a little bit warmer. And yes, currently 43 with a low of 37 last night. You can see in the lower left-hand corner there. It was cold. And here's a look at the lavish shower you get for $12.50 each per night. But at least there was hot water.
Sure, Jack. Okay, I'm going to film some of the stuff we have in camp. Don't know if I ever filmed it, but this is my fast drying towel, which I don't really like because it feels like more like a car chamois. Washcloth came with it. Here's my tent. Kelty, 2-person tent. And this is the Wise Owl pillow. Somebody was asking me on my channel the size of it. That's pretty much the size of it compared to my hand. It's a good size. I like it. And this is the Nemo Disco 15-degree bag.
So let's talk about sleeping bag ratings for a second. Sleeping bags actually have 3 ratings. A comfort rating, where most people will feel warm when they're sleeping. A lower limit rating, where most people will start to feel cold. And a survival rating. This is the temperature you should not die, but you'll be freezing your ass off. Most companies are using that lower limit rating, or even lower. And keep in mind that these numbers are calculated with the understanding that you're using a ground pad with a 4.8 R value or higher, and you're fully dressed in proper clothing. So keep that in mind when you're buying a sleeping bag.
It's not a full mummy. It's a little wider at the knees for a side sleeper. And it's pretty damn warm. We needed it. It hit 37 degrees last night. And it worked. We did have to pick up some hand warmers that we stuck in with us, though. And this is the Sea to Summit self-inflating air mattress. I think like a 4.5 R rating on this. Worked out good. First time I used it last night. I have another Sea to Summit, but that one's more of like a mummy bag shape. This one's the rectangular one. I like it better. And then this is also a new addition, 60-liter dry bag that I put on the back of the bike for all the clothing. That worked out real good as well. And that's my house. All right, let's go see what Gary's got going on over here. Tent is a Coleman. It's 2-person, right? 2-person tent? Yeah, 2-person tent. And he's got the king-size mattress.
Yeah, big and tall.
So the sleeping bag is a Coleman. Same pillow as me. Mattress is a what was it called?
Climate.
Climate.
Yep.
And it's wide, much wider than mine. If you can see that, I hope. Might be dark in there. And a lot of room, a lot of headroom. Yep. This is what we used. Let me see if I have the heat things we used last night, because like I said, it got down to 37. So we picked up these from Walmart, hot hands, and I lit up 2 of these, put them in the sleeping bag with me.
That's what I used.
That's what Gary used. And these are the camp chairs that we have. Marchways, fold up pretty nice, and they work real good too. And that's our camp.
On our last day of camping, an old beat-up van pulls in and takes the spot across the way from us. A younger, skinny, hairy guy with a lot of energy gets out, comes over to us and says, "Hi, my name's Eamon. Do you mind if I smoke pot?" so we liked Eamon immediately. And he had some really cool toys that I wanted to show you.
Ken,
Yep.
I have a YouTube channel. I'm gonna add. I'm gonna throw this in. So we were talking about our 37-degree night last night, and Eamon here showed up from New Jersey as well, and he's got this awesome little solar-powered generator and this really cool warm blanket he's gonna lend me for the night.
So we got the 12-volt car cigarette lighter, 2 more DCs. We got 3 USB, one of which is a faster charge. We got the USB-C, which goes up to 100 watts. There's a light, there's first brightness, second brightness, and that's like SOS. That's the SOS signal if you need to like signal up to the sky. And then we got 3 AC powers. I believe they go up to 600 watts each.
And And you figure it's going to run for about 7 to 8 hours running this blanket all night.
Yeah, and it's pretty toasty.
Sweet, for no electric.
But
That's awesome, man.
It has a bunch of different applications. I got an electric stove top, a
Right.
rice cooker, and a slow cooker.
Oh, that's freaking
I still have to test out. I got each of those for anywhere between like 17 and 30 bucks each.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Hey, man, that's great, man. I appreciate
And
it.
you can shout me out too at Jade Hyde. That's one of my YouTube channels.
Oh, is that right? You have a
Some
channel
weird-
too?
Some weird shit on there.
Oh, that's awesome. We're gonna trade channels.
All right.
All right, thanks, Eamon.
Yeah.
Very awesome, man. Cool.
This generator that Eamon had would be too big for my motorcycle campers, but I did find one on Amazon that was 300 watts, 7 pounds, I believe it was $300, and that is a possibility. Something to think about. We are heading to Fort Ticonderoga now. It is a large 18th century star-shaped fort built by the French in 1755 at a narrows near the south end of Lake Champlain in northern New York. The name Ticonderoga comes from an Iroquois word meaning at the junction of two waterways. In 1759, the British took the fort from the French, and during the Revolutionary War, it was attacked on May 10th, 1775 by the Green Mountain Boys and other state militia under the command of Ethan Allen and Benedict Arnold, who captured it in a surprise attack.
She said these are the officers' barracks, right?
Is that what she said? Yeah. Oh, my bed.
Maybe we could just sleep here.
See, they would have had a fire going right here. Oh, they had a telephone.
What's that?
They had a telephone.
They did.
They could just call for Pizza Hut. That's pretty crazy.
Series of commands, beginning with the first command 2.
Join your right hand to the firelock.
1,
2.
2,
Recover your firelock.
1, 2.
Make ready.
What you notice a few things happen. The man in the front rank took a knee, as they're accustomed to taking a knee when loading and firing. I took a large step back so the man's foot doesn't actually slam into mine, as we also bring our weapons back to full cock with the next command 2.
Reset.
We aim our weapons downrange. Now, make no mistake, these soldiers are not simply blasting away at whatever they got, but rather picking out aimed targets. Waiting for the final command 2.
Draw the trigger.
Leveling a shot downrange. Now, we can actually go about this entire process with a single command, the command 2.
Prime in. Reset. Fire.
And then we can immediately begin reloading. Now, imagine several thousand soldiers down the line reloading.
Pile up in a circle, dig out your stoves here, burn them out to harden them out from the inside out, and then have a huge bonfire on top of the whole circular apparatus to harden the clay structure itself. That process takes around 2 hours, compiling the mud and the fire in all, which, well, at least that's how long it took our high school group last May to do it. So ideally, if you were really knowing what you were doing and not a high school group, you could probably do it in a shorter amount of time. That being said, they're a terribly efficient kitchen for an army on the road. As long as there's dirt beneath your feet, your cooks can throw one of these apparatuses up and begin cooking for your men. A full apparatus with burners extending all the way around the circumference of the structure would cook for around 60 to 80 men at once. Wow. So efficient, fuel efficient, as you're using more oxygen than wood and burning in those burners using laws of convection. They are an ideal way to cook for your army. Now this one is modeled after a painting of a French regiment in our collections, the Royal French Regiment of de Roussillon, cooking out of a camp kitchen exactly like this. So we had those high schoolers use that painting last May as a model to build this one.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I'm cooking salt pork and cow peas. Cow peas,
See that?
black eyed
And for our last ride today, we're going to head up to Mount Defiance, which overlooks Lake Champlain and Fort Ticonderoga. Up on top of Mount Defiance, you get a stunning view of Lake Champlain and Fort Ticonderoga. I really enjoyed discovering this area. I hope to get back next year and get even further north. And as always, if you'd like to support this project, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.